All right, then, since we successfully finished this single product page, so now all we have to do is to get back to our cart actions. So let's go ahead and let me close everything, close all. So first, what I need to do is I just need to install a very specific package over here called Susend. So this is the React State Management Library to manage our cart actions and everything. So let me say npm install Susend. Let's install it. Okay, so now we have all those things. Fine. So now over here, now what I need to do is I'm going to create a new folder called hooks, and inside this hooks I'm going to create a new file over here called usecarts.ts. Let me close this, and let me close this, and let me keep it simple as that. Okay. Now here what I'm going to do is first I'm going to import the necessary package, which is going to be the create, which is coming from Susend, like this. Then I'm going to import from Susend / middleware. I'm going to get this persist along with this create JSON storage, something like that. Then I'm going to import the products from the types.products. Then I'm going to import the toast from React hot toast React. Okay, so I need to import that one also. So what I'm going to do is npm install React hot toast. So let's install that one too. So now we have to bring the toast provider. So because if you wish to do the toast and everything, the toast notifications and everything, so you have to bring the toast provider. So in order to do that, I'm going to create a new provider over here, new folder, providers, and here inside this providers folder I'm going to create a new file called toast provider.tsx. So now let's create the toast provider, and we have to wrap this toast provider into our layout. So let's get back to the layout.tsx, and right after inside this body over here I'm gonna bring that toast provider and I'm gonna wrap it over here. Fine, let's save these changes now, and I think it is up and running. Yes, everything is fine, so it is working perfectly fine. Cool. And now over here I'm gonna bring the toast from React hot toast, right? These are the packages that we needed. So let's add all those things. Okay, so now inside this use carts, now what I need to do is we have all those things. So let's create the cart store first. So interface cart store, it's going to be items, which is going to be the products. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, so now what I have to do is I have to create the rest of the things, which is going to be the a function, which is going to help us to add a new item, which is going to be the data of the types of products, and it's going to return the void. Okay, so then after this I'm going to have one more function, which is going to be the remove item, which is going to get the same not data this time, it's going to be get the ID of that specific product, and it's going to return the void. And we're going to have one more function, which is going to remove all the items, and that is going to be written a void function. And of course we're going to have update the item quantity. So update item quantity function, which is going to get the ID, and that is going to be string, and that is going to return the void. And as well as it is going to get one more, which is going to be quantity, and that is going to be a number. All right, this is all the cart store. So let's make sure that you are having exactly the same as what I'm having over here. So So please be very careful. Okay, so now then what I have to do is I'm going to say const use cards is equals to create. I'm going to create, open it, and I'm just going to say persist, which is the type of card store. Then let's open a bracket. Okay, so wait a minute. Mm, 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 mm. Okay, so right after this one, I'm gonna call the name of this, what kind of name it is going to be. I'm just going to say the name of this, like this store which we are creating right now, which is going to be cart store, and it should be store on storage colon create JSON storage of the local storage. We are going to store this completely in the local storage. And then now inside here, what I'm going to do is inside here, enter, I'm going to get set and getter method over here. Then I'm going to call a callback value function, which is going to return an object. And inside here, first we're going to get the item, which is going to be the empty, and second of thing, which is going to add item, which is going to get a function with the type of the products. Okay, and that is going to get a callback function just like this, and which is going to be const current items. We're going to get the current items, which is going to use fetch it by using get dot items, so we can get that complete items. Then const existing items is equals to current items dot find, open it, then we can get that specific item if the item dot id is equals to data dot id. Okay, so if that means, so if the item is already inside, whenever you're trying to add an item, if the existing items is already there, then what I need to do, I just need to return the toast, 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 sorry, return toast dot, or simply say toast as item already in the cart. So if not, I just going to say using the set method, I'm gonna get the object and I'm gonna access the items. So items, it's going to be array of items. Destructure the get method, I'm gonna using the get that complete items. So we're gonna destructure everything, and along with that I'm gonna pass this data which we are fetching, which the data which I passed along with it, right? And once it is success, I'm just going to say toast dot success. I'm just going to say item added to the cart, right? And right after this function, now I'm going to use this remove item, which is going to be a function which is going to take the id as a string as a function parameter. Open the function, and I'm going to use this set function. I'm going to supply the items colon, I'm going to get destructure all the items, get dot items. Okay, now I'm going to use this filter method, items dot filter method. Open it, and I'm going to extract the every single item one after in it, and I'm going to return the id. That id should not be equals to the id, so that will be destructured and it will be set again in that. If everything is fine, I'm just going to say toast dot success. I'm just going to say item removed from the cart, right? And if I wish to remove all, so I just can simply say remove all, which is going to be an empty function, and then I can simply say set open items, which is going to be an empty array. And at the end, of course, we're going to have one more function, which is going to be the update quantity question mark. Open it, let's apply the id as a string and quantity as a number, and we can call a callback function, right? So this function, now it's going to say we are going to update the specific quantity of it. So our const updated items is equals to, let's get that items first, get the items, so we can map through every single items of it. Okay, so inside that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say item.id should be equals to id. Is that the case? Then I'm going to destructure the every single item of it along with the quantity. Okay, that means the quantity in the sense this is the quantity, this quantity. Okay, along with that quantity. If not, I'm just simply going to return that item. Okay, and finally once it is done, I'm just going to say set items is going to be the updated items. All right, so say this changes. Then now this is not supposed to be returned over here, this is supposed to be returned over here. That's the reason it's showing an error. Okay, so I returned this completely after this bracket, so you have to write this inside this bracket, which means all these things over here, see this function has been finishing over here, everything should be inside this function. So first in this, it's going to have a function and it's going to have a object. So this is going to be the use cards. Then I'm just going to say export default use card. All right, this is what we are going to return, right? So I'm just going to say use cart, that would be better, so not multiple carts. So I'm just going to keep it as a used cart alone. Okay, so just make sure that you all guys are keeping everything as it is. Okay, so don't make any changes over here, everything should be exactly the same. Whatever I returned, it should be exactly the same. Okay, so say these changes if you did, and once you did finish this use cards, now all we have to do is to jump to the cards over in the header section over here, right? We have to jump to the header section, the place where we can display the cards and everything. So in order to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new file, cart action.tsx, enter, and I'm just going to say control B. Okay, so now what I have to do is over here I'm just going to mark this as a client first, use client, and this is going to be sfc, and let's say cart action button, something like that, and div over here I'm just going to say simply like cart for the time being. So let's bring this now where I need to bring. So let me open the header and right at the end over here, and I think right after here, if I do have this user ID, then only I need to show that cart action. So I'm just going to say cart action button from the cart action. So let me save these changes. Now you should be able to see the cart over there, and let me jump to the cart actions now. So inside here, now what I'm going to do is, so we need to fix this hydration issues first, just like exactly the same way what we used to do for every single models and everything. So I'm just going to say use state snippet, and I'm going to say mounted, and here I'm just going to say false. So then I have to fetch the cart. So const cart is equals to use cart from at hooks cart, then const router is equals to use router from next navigation, and I'm going to get the use effect hook, and it's going to take an arrow function and the array of dependency, enter, and I'm just going to say set is set mounted, which is going to be true, and at the end if not mounted, I'm just going to return it as a null, which means we are at the server side. If everything is fine, now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to say class name margin left is equal to 4, then flex item center, justify center, gap x it's equal to 4, but instead of this cart text, what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring a button from, instead of dot slash, I'm going to say at slash components. Okay, well, this button is going to be the class name of rounded full. Okay, and the size, of course, it's going to be the icon size, And on click, whenever I click this, I'm gonna say a callback function, which is going to be router dot push the user to slash cart. Push the user to the slash cart, but we don't have any specific button over here, so I don't need this icon. So that is looks like that. And inside this button, now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say shopping bag, which is going to have a class name of height as 4 and width as 4 and text as white. And after this, I'm going to bring a span tag. Inside the span tag, I'm just going to say cart dot items dot length. Whatever the cart dot items dot length, I have to display it over there. Class name, text SM and font medium and text white and margin left, it's going to be 2. Save this changes. Now you should be able to see the cart is 0 because we don't have anything in it. Now all I have to do is to jump into the popular content, because that's the place where we are trying to add this to into the cart. Whenever you click this button, that's the place where we are trying to add it into the cart, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna get the cart functionality. So what I'm going to, so right after here, after the state, I'm gonna say const cart is equals to use cart, open it. Okay, so now we have the cart. Then what I have to do is const add to cart. Const add to cart, it is going to be an function. So I'm going to get the data over here, which is going to be the type of the products itself, and I'm trying to add that into cart dot add item, open it, get the destructure the complete data, and along with that I'm just going to set the quantity by default as 1, right? This is how we're going to do it. And whenever I wish to click this, instead of this callback function, I'm just going to say add to cart, open it, and I'm going to send the product or data into it, something like this. So now whenever I click this, if I click this, you can see item added to the cart, and I can see we have one specific item in it. If you click the same item one more time, you can see it is saying that product is already updated. Now if you check it out over here in the inspect elements, go to the applications and right under this local storage, and you can see the cart storage. Inside that you can see the state, and we can see the items, and we can see the list of things, and you can see the quantity is 1. But now if I change the quantity, nothing is happening over here. So if you wish to do that, now what I need to do is I need to open the page content, sorry, the info, because that's the place where we do have the quantity, which is where we are updating the quantity and everything. So just exactly the same way, what we have to do is I'm gonna have this const cart is equals to use cart, open it. Okay, so now we have that. So whenever we are updating the quantity, at the same point we have to update the cart items quantity as well as. So I'm gonna bring the add to cart option also, because that's the place where we are having the button for adding the, I'm just copying exactly the same thing, nothing else. Okay, so we have this quantity and we are updating the quantity, whatever the quantity that we selected. And right after the time, whenever we are updating the quantity, I'm just going to say cart update the item quantity, and I'm going to supply the product dot id into it. Then I need to supply the number, what exact number that the user is being keep on updating. Now this add to cart button needs to be called every single time whenever I'm clicking this on click, call a callback function and add to cart, open it, and supply that product into it. So save these changes. Now we can see this specific product is having only one item on the cart. You can see only one. And now if I click 2, and this is supposed to be changed to 2. I think we are running into a issue. So let me refresh this. If I So whenever I'm updating the cart, I think now it should be changed. Applications, items, images, and still the cart quantity is 1 only. I don't know why it is still 1. Mm, 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 mm. Now if I click this, it is saying that item added, and if I click this, still it is saying that item is added. Now are we having two different items? If I change this, let me get over here, and if I check this product console, up, uh, application, cart storage, state, items, we have two different items. And here we go, see, now it's up because I was checking a different product. So here now if I change this quantity to 4, now if I click over here and if I check the second item which I added, and you can see the quantity is updated to 4. So let's create a separate page so that you can see how exactly it looks like. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring a very separate page to display the cards completely. Okay, so let's go ahead and bring those separate pages to display the cards. Okay, so now what I have to do is I'm gonna create a separate page for bringing the cards. So let me close all these things. So close all, and inside the app folder routes, and inside the routes folder over here, right above it, I'm gonna create a new folder called cart, something like this. And inside here, I'm gonna create a new file called page.tsx. Okay, so straight over here, I'm just going to say sfc. This is going to be the cart content page, and I'm just going to say cart over here, save it. Now whenever user clicks this is supposed to push the user to the cart. Now we can able to see the carts page which is loaded successfully, and this is going to have an interface which is going to be cart content page props. Open it, which is going to be the user id, and of course it is going to be string or it is going to be null. So this is going to have this property over here. So let's destructure this cart content page props, and let's say cart, sorry, not cart, which is going to be the user id. All right, so save this, and now inside here I'm just going to say const cart is equals to use cart. Open it. Wait a second. So why we need to have this okay, so that is my bad. So this is completely wrong. So no, it's my bad. So I just need to, because since we are in a server side property, server side component, we can fetch the user ID directly itself. So why I need to send it? So I forgot about that. So let's bring it over here and let's say cart right now, save it. Okay, so now I can access this user ID directly over here. Const open it is equals to auth. From the auth, I can able to access this user ID directly from here, just like that. Then now what we have to do is we are going to return a division with the class of height, of course, which is going to be the 80 viewport height. Save these changes. Now we can see that. Then I'm going to bring the container from add components container, which is going to have a class name of width. Of course it's going to be full. Px it's going to be 4. Then medium, on medium device px it's going to be 12, and space y it's going to be 7, and height of course it's going to be full. Enter. and oops, this is supposed to be for next division, and here I'm just going to say bg white py 12, margin m1 4, and height, of course, it's going to be full. Inside this, I'm gonna have a division with the class name of exactly this. Then inside here, I'm gonna have a box from add components, and which is going to be display the exact same stuff what we did in the in the products page, like the breadcrumbs, whatever we designed over there. So just exactly the same breadcrumbs that we are going to bring it. Link, which is going to be next link, Lucida icons, and over here just like this. Now you should be able to see main page products card. So you can simply copy it from your page content of your menu sections, and you can paste it over here. Okay, and right after this box, I'm just going to say cart